Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about one of the classic language learning topics to do with Chinese, which is Chinese harder to learn than French or Spanish or other languages, say Russian, Arabic? The answer to the question is it depends on who's learning it, obviously. But for speakers of English, Chinese is definitely more of a challenge at the beginning than other European languages, but just because it's so different linguistically from English than French or Spanish or so on. And there's also very little familiar vocabulary at the beginning in Chinese for speakers of English. As well as this, Chinese has 4 tones, which is 4 different ways of saying each syllable, and English doesn't have this, and Chinese has Chinese characters, of course. So there's quite a few things which make the language difficult, particularly at the beginning. However, Chinese doesn't have verbs or nouns that change their endings, just like English does, or other European languages, and it doesn't have masculine or feminine. It doesn't have singular or plural in the same way as English, and it doesn't have tenses like Western languages do. And not only this, but the basic word order for simple sentences in Chinese is actually very similar to European languages. So there's some things which make it not so difficult. For, say, speakers of Japanese or Korean or Vietnamese, Chinese is quite closely related to their languages, so it's easier for them to learn than for speakers of Western languages. But yeah, for English speakers, Chinese may be harder at the beginning than, say, French or Spanish, in my opinion, but it does get easier as you go along. And it really isn't as difficult as people make out. So my advice is to just keep at it, and you will get there in the end, believe me.